I'm Kristofer Ekklston, and I'm back playing the Ninth Doctor for Big Finish audio dramas. And I'll be answering your questions. I'm a Brazilian fan, and my question is, how do you feel knowing that you're acting as the Ninth Doctor enchanted people all around the world and that all of them love you? Please send a kiss to my friend Pierre. Pierre, that's for you. Well, I feel enchanted back. It's a role that has brought me a great deal of love, and I return it with bells on. Have you heard Nick Briggs' impersonation of your Doctor, and what do you think of it? I have not heard Nick Briggs' impersonation of my Doctor, but I have heard Nick Briggs' impersonation of a Dalek, and it needs a lot of work, as does his Cyberman. Would you consider reprising your take as Macbeth for an audio drama with Big Finish? 'Tis my favourite one, and I long to hear you perform it. Yes, I would love to do Macbeth for Big Finish, and also I plan to return to Macbeth if I possibly can on stage, in a different production, in London, a chamber production that concentrates on the language and the psychology. A Plank and a Passion production of Macbeth post-lockdown would be very special to me. What eras of history would you like to explore? I recall Paul McGann rather wanted to do a World War I story and got one in Dark Eyes. I would like to go back to Salford of the 1920s and 30s, to the Salford of my mother Elsie and my father Ronnie's childhood. And also the Salford immortalised by Harold Brighouse in Hobson's Choice, the Salford studied for A Classic Slum, the Salford that was visited by Engels, and understand the roots of my own family. After being somewhat distant towards the role since leaving, that's your opinion, what was the deciding factor in returning to the character now? My inner child is very excited to have new Ninth Doctor's adventures again. Well, I mean, I'm an actor and I act to support myself and my children, Albert and Esme. So the deciding factor, it might not be fashionable to say it, is that it's paid work, particularly in a pandemic. After that, it was the quality of the writing, and it's always scripts and writers that attract me to projects. And the quality of Big Finish's writers is so high, and it's been joyous experience. How easy did you find it slipping back into the character, and did audio create any new challenges? I found it very easy. I said that in the first couple of days, and the reason it was easy is because of the quality of the scripts. I think the people who write these Big Finish audios have immersed themselves in the series, so they're very acquainted with the voices of all the characters, all the doctors and all the actors who played it. So it was very easy for me. The challenges were for me to keep still. Wilfredo, who I work with a lot as a sound engineer, I drive him mad. He makes me wear a straitjacket. My Doctor was quite physical, and I tend to kick things and knock things over and over-physicalise. And all that has to be actually placed into the voice rather than the body. So that's been a challenge for me, keeping still. But that's been challenge for me all my life. Would you like to do a story with a classic Doctor, and which would you want to do it with? Who is a classic Doctor? That's all a matter of opinion. They're all classic Doctors. I would like to act with Patrick Troughton, but Patrick has passed, so I'd settle for his son, David, who's a wonderful actor. Given the opportunity, would you like the Ninth Doctor to meet the Master and or Riversong, on the chance that Nick Briggs has told you who Riversong is? I don't really know much about the Master and Riversong, but my Doctor's happy to meet anybody, so I'm entirely open. The most important question, do you have the leather jacket? No, I don't have the leather jacket, and I don't know what happened to it. If you could choose a more serious subject matter for a story, what would you go for? Climate change? The issues surrounding homelessness? Anything else? Your activism is such an important aspect, and like Katie Manning, it's great to see you using your influence for good. I think climate is the massive issue, isn't it? And I think the Doctor historically has always been interested in that. He talks about the apes that inhabit this planet and the damage they do to it and to each other. It's been a trope throughout the series, the history of the series, to protect the planet Earth and the apes on it. It would be very interesting for the Doctor to meet Attenborough. And yes, homelessness. I'm an ambassador for Big Issue. It's something very close to my heart. And this pandemic has meant that Big Issue sellers have been cut off from their livelihood. And we will see homelessness increase tenfold in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think that's a huge issue. And I think the beauty of Doctor Who is it can deal with things like that without soapboxing. But certainly that's something I think the Doctor is interested in, the benighted members of society. So both those issues would be interesting. The beauty of Doctor Who is it can adapt. Simply, what does it mean to you personally to be playing the 9th Doctor again after all this time? It's a joy. I'm having a lovely time playing him because the scripts I've been given are so good, and Big Finish are so organised and honest and straight talking, and they keep their standards very high. So it's been a joy. Can you please say a certain word again, Chris? Because you are absolutely a certain word. Fantastic.